Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to me doing Blender things. Make and break, I don't know what we call this thing anymore. We call it all sorts of stuff. I've been saying this for months. Hello, we're back. We got a rare double feature today. Because normally we just make something and move on. But today, we're gonna keep working on our little apartment complex. I said it was a hotel, now it's an apartment. Who knows what I'm talking about. Okay. Hello, folks. I'm going to go ahead and put on a little bit of color just so we can look at something a little bit pretty. I'm going to go ahead and throw on just the normal old music. I promised that I would change the music up a little bit ago, and I didn't. And the reason for that is life is chaos. But I think I'm close to something. I have a bit of a conundrum with music. And it's that if I change the music on stream, I have to somehow fill in the music on YouTube. And that's going to just be a real bother. So I've just kind of been thinking of smart ways to do that. So I don't waste 2 hours of my life every single day re-editing VODs that get 4 views. But we'll get there when we get there. Anyway. I'm going to go ahead and just make a new collection real quick for some ocean stuff. This music seems a little loud to me. I'm going to lower it just a little bit. That should be fine. So I'm going to pop some stuff into the ocean here. And we'll get going. So what are we up to today? What is the goal? Well, first off, this tree. You know what? We're going to put the tree in the ocean. Like, for sure, we're deleting this tree. This tree is going to go. But I like it for now. We'll keep it for now. So, first things first, what do we need to work on? We are building out a little bit of an apartment. So let's go ahead and actually do ourselves a favy. And we're going to keep just a single hotel room. You right there. You, stop. Traitor scum. Boom, we got a hotel room. So this is what we're working on today. We're going to make this thing nice and beautiful. That's the whole goal today, is to make this look nice. What does nice mean? What are we doing? I'm not sure yet. Stop asking. I want it to look maybe a little bit less brutal, but something that I have to be very mindful of. So here's the requirements. Here's the stage that we are setting. People cannot look at other people. That's not allowed. The people here cannot look over the balcony to the next person. Or it should at least be incredibly difficult and easy to see if you're trying to do it. So I can't have them like going like on a slope, because that was my original idea, is I wanted a slope. It was gonna be cool to like just cut them all the way across, but I can't do that. So so now the question is, how am I gonna pretty these things up? It's a tough one, man. I think I'm going to worry about the inside first, and we'll get to the outside later. So let's start by just doing some inside stuff. So, we're, what? Oh, gotta go to this mode. So we're here. We got ourselves a nice little bathroom. Let's go ahead and start working on this bathroom. Also, the bathroom looks incredibly small. Have I done my dimensions correctly? I think I might have done my dimensions kind of bad. CQDK. I should also mention Junie's been here since the very beginning. How are you all doing? I look at this and I'm like, maybe I've made a bit of a weird mistake. I don't want to reinvent the wheel here. We'll think about it. I'm going to put it on the back burner. We're going to work on something else for just a sec. First things first, I'm going to make myself a shower. So let's make ourselves a nice little shower. I've considered a tub, but the more and more I think about it, I think a structure like this relies on showering. I think bathtubs are kind of a luxury. I think having a bathtub is like a sign of wealth. I think, you know, in the modern era, we kind of take that for granted because who doesn't have a bathtub? But, like, back in the day, I would say bathtubs are kind of a luxury. I suppose showers as a technology are kind of a luxury as well, but from a, like, economic standpoint, I think showers are cheaper. Or at least less sophisticated. Okay, so I got a 12 subdivision on this guy. I mean, that's a shower, right? That's a pretty decent looking shower. I suppose if I wanted it to look a little bit better, we could cut it down a little bit. Like that. That'll work. Let's do this. This is good. I like this a lot. Cool. So that's a shower. I can get rid of X-ray now while we're here. And the shower obviously doesn't have a top. Why would it? Oh my gosh, what a wall of text we just got. I got a burger and a box that had the burger in it, but now the box is empty because I ate the burger. But my point is, I took the box and gave it eyes, and now I call it Snappy Nappy Nap Nap. Well, that was just about one of the most CQDK things I've ever read in my life. I don't know what I was expecting to see, but it wasn't that. That was quite a little thing you just wrote. I'm proud of you, though. Okay, dare I say that's it for the shower? Is that it? So let's go ahead and make the shower head. I want to give it teeth. You should make a whole thing out of it. I'm going to go ahead and hide the hotel room for just the time being. There's no need to really process something that we're not working on, so I'm going to leave that as is. And here's what I'm thinking. Let's make ourselves a little shower head. So I'm going to go ahead and just inset this guy a little bit. We're going to GZ that guy on up. And then we're going to inset one more time, really small. I never understand. Look at this. Okay, so I have it here. Go left. It should shrink. Okay, let's go right. It should shrink. What? Go up. It should shrink. No, go down. It should shrink. What direction am I supposed to go to shrink it? Never makes sense. Never makes sense with these things. It's doing it again. Okay, so we're here. You should start getting more burgers for more boxes. I think that's not a good idea. Just gonna put that out there. I don't think that's a great idea. That's like marketing 101, right? That's how, like, McDonald's does the Monopoly thing and everybody gets obsessed with it because they want Park Place. Don't know if I support that one. Is there even any need to do this? No, there's not. There's not a need to do that at all. So I'm going to go ahead and extrude this along the Z. And that is a shower. Okay, so let's do the bottom. So now the question is, I want to subdivide this. I'm working and hanging out here on the other monitor. Yeah, no worries at all. Nothing's being expected of you guys. I mean, you can get 2 burgers. Like, as long as there's an end, right? So, my mom has taught me many great things. My mom is a very smart person. I don't know if she would call herself smart, but she's got wisdom. She's got a lot of wisdom in her own way. And one of the things that she has really imparted upon me is something that her, I think her old dentist told her once. Ever since I was a little kid, she's always told me that everything in moderation, right? Like you're allowed to do things as long as you control how much of it you're doing, which is pretty good wisdom, I would argue. It's a pretty good way to live your life, honestly. And every time she's ever said this to me, I've always been like, what about cocaine? What about heroin? What about stuff like that? And she's always like, well, you know, if it's in moderation, whatever that means. Sometimes moderation might be not doing it at all, which I think is a good point. But yeah, so she's basically always said this to me. So what I'm going to say to you, the reason why I'm saying all of this, the point, the actual whatever about this is if you're getting, you know, burger boxes for the sake of your art, That's cool. There just has to be an end to it. That can't be what you do forever. That can't be your obsession. That can't be your collection. That can't be, it's not sustainable. So, you gotta make it temporary. You gotta only do as much as is relevant. That is not a bad looking shower head, honestly. So we're gonna do individuals. There's always an end I get. Bored fast, want to do something new. Now, hopefully this isn't, you know, a weird thing to say to somebody. Because I've been thinking about this myself lately. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. You ever think maybe you have ADHD? Because I was thinking about that lately. I was thinking a lot about ADHD lately, and I'm like, I might have ADHD. I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm like, it would explain so much of my life. How to know? I mean, outside of visiting a doctor, I think you just kind of gotta guess. ADHD is like the inability to focus on things for large periods of time, and when you do focus, you have like innate boredom with stuff, even stuff that's like important or you like actually enjoy. I almost failed high school until I got put on ADHD meds. For me, it was college. College was the point that it really like formed. And I don't think ADHD is something that forms. I don't want to put that myth out in the world. But for me, like, it was college where I just could not focus. I just couldn't bring myself to pay attention to anything. Also, is that a shower? This looks like a weird shower. I struggled with school for a long time, even when we were in class together in elementary. I was super behind. I think I've always been good. I'm just talking about myself at this point. I apologize. I think I've always been good at, like, faking things. I've always been good at, okay, a good example. In college, I was an English major, so I had to write a lot of papers. I was the kind of person that would wait until the last minute to write my paper. I would do it like 3 a.m. the day before it was due. But every time I did that, I was like super hyper focused because I was stressed. I was like upset at myself for having waited that long. And so I was hyper focused and I was very like determined for a short period of time. And as a result of that, I ended up like writing super good papers and getting A's almost every single time. So it like backfired a lot for me because I was like training myself to be worse at school or be worse at just like life. Every time I would do a paper that way, I would get an A, and it was like vicious. Because every time I wanted to stop being a procrastinator, I would write papers way ahead of time. I would turn them in, and I would get a C. And it's like, okay, so I'm getting rewarded for being crazy. And I think that's like a lot of people with ADHD or like adjacent sort of things suffer from that specifically. Don't think I got ADHD because I don't know how to know. That doesn't mean you don't have it. Excuse me. A little bit of Chick-fil-A coming up. What is bath spider? What is a bath spider? What does that mean? You've said bath spider before. Okay, so there's probably a more efficient way that I should have made the shower, and I don't even know if I love this shower, but it's alright. I can live with this. I think it gets the point across. So I'm just going to go ahead and bevel these just a little bit so we don't have this gross looking... There we go. And if we go back to object mode and we shade smooth, that looks very weird. That looks really weird. That looks like waffles. We have officially made waffles. Okay, so let's go ahead and renormal this thing. I'm gonna say 60 is a pretty decent angle, although I might want to go full 90, given okay, 90's too much. 80. You know what? We'll take 80. That looks all right. It still looks like a waffle, but I guess showers kind of look like waffles. So that's our shower. Done. Let's go ahead and make a faucet, which I have no idea what a faucet looks like. So we're going to Google that real quick. I should have Googled that ahead of time. I didn't really think. Once thought of a bath and a shower, and I thought if the spider lives in the shower, kills people when they take a shower. What? CTK, you okay? You doing okay, bud? That's a little dramatic. Did you ever watch Courage the Cowardly Dog? No, I know what you meant. Don't worry, I gotcha. I speak CQDK at this point. Okay, there's a moment in Courage the Cowardly Dog where he takes a bath. I think it's a bath. That might be a shower. He takes something and a spider comes out. I thought that's where you would have got it from. Okay, so that is not a bad looking shower. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of accessories on it. I guess I'll go ahead and make this a collection called Shower. And we'll call this Shower, lo and behold. We'll call this Shower Head, lo and behold. And that's our shower. Let's make some little accessories. So I gotta make a faucet for it, maybe 2 faucets, and I got to make a handle. I'm getting that like pinging, scary feeling in my chest where I'm gonna have to change all of this. So I'm like on the fly trying to think of how I'm justifying this real quick. You could import that bar of soap you made a few weeks ago. I could do that, couldn't I? I didn't think about the bar of soap. This is the fun of making a million 3D assets, right? You have like a little catalog to work off of. Junie, you're brilliant. What I would do without you, I don't know. I don't know what life would have been like without Junie. Would have been a lot worse, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and say 5. 5 is probably pretty decent. Thought the spider was in the shower, and then when you head to get close to the shower, the spider would stick its legs through the holes of the shower and into the human head. Well, we went from a very sweet comment to a not very sweet comment. So that's just, you know, the kind of rhythms we go for here in this chat. I know what you're saying. I think you should watch The Courage the Cowardly Dog. Honestly, CQDK, I think you should watch Courage the Cowardly Dog in general. Now, you're a little impressionable. Hopefully that doesn't come across as being condescending. I mean that very lovingly. But you're a little impressionable, so I hope it doesn't affect you in a negative way. But that show is so your brand, it's insane. Oh yeah, they're attacking Muriel, that's what it is. Okay, so is this what handles for showers look like? No. Not at all, but it's the one I'm using. We're gonna do it just like that, and it's gonna overlap a little bit. Who cares? Ain't that big. You'll love it. You'll love it for sure. Here we go. That's a handle. It looks a little cartoony. Do I care? I don't know. Return the slab. Oh, return the slab. I love Courage the Cowardly Dog, honestly. I really fell for that show. I think everybody who grew up in our generation has a weird soft spot for Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like, you either have nostalgia for Courage the Cowardly Dog, or you're the kind of person that's like, I hate video games, and then you play Clash of Clans. Those are the only 2 kinds of millennials. I actually know quite a few people like that who like actively go like, you know, video games are like a waste, and people that play video games, you know, will never be successful and stuff like that. and then they sit on their phone and play like Candy Crush. It's like, you're playing just a worse game. You're just playing like the most boring game in the world. If you like Candy Crush, I'm not trying to hate on Candy Crush, but like, if you play Candy Crush, don't make fun of people that play PC games. That makes no sense. That's the weirdest thing you can do. Pink Dog. Yeah, Courage Cowardly Dog. He's pink. Courage Cowardly Dog, Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, back-to-back on Friday nights. Oh, yeah. And then you had Toonami to look forward to? Like, come on now. I had, like, deep existentialism for Toonami, honestly. Every time Toonami would come on, I'm like, this is it. This is what I'm alive for. No, we'll keep it just like this. This is all right. Just a little bit right there. I like Fisher Cat with a fun game to have on my phone. Yeah, again, I don't want to make fun of people who play games on their phone. That's cool. No problem. It's just the people who make fun of video games. It's like, if you're going to ask me, are video games bad for you? Maybe. I'm not one of those people that's like, absolutely no. I think, yeah, there's an argument to be made there. Sure. But don't say that they're unhealthy and then go play a video game. That's very weird. It's a very strange thing to do. Okay, dare I say that is a good looking handle. It looks kind of like you're going to open like 2 wine bottles at once. Okay, so that is our guy. I did try to play some hardcore Minecraft again and did really bad. Why? Why would you do that? Tell you what, we're going to move this just a little bit that way. I'm going to say both of them need to be 0.4. There we go. Nice and even. Cool. So that's a shower. Now let's go ahead and do the thing that I should have done before stream and look up what a faucet looks like. Not gonna lie, I hate to be the guy to admit this, but for the sake of full sincerity, I will say it. What am I saying? I woke up today. At 8 o'clock, 8 in the morning. I'm in bed, and I'm like, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to get up early. I'm gonna go take a hike. I'm gonna go think about life. I'm gonna have a total day. And then I'm like, okay, yeah. And I thought about it until I went back to bed. And then I woke up at noon. And I'm like, how is that possible? How can a human body be like, it's time to get up? Actually, 4 more hours. So I feel like a degenerate saying that, but that is what happened today. That was the rhythm that I had on this day. And it was, it felt bad, man. Okay, so what kind of thing am I looking for? No, I like the hot. Honestly, I've been walking out. I have this little like wooded path near me that I go to and I walk, and it is like lovely. It is so nice. And if it's hot, you just go under the trees. 8 a.m. is early. You wake up super early. When do you wake up, CQDK? What's your usual time? Okay, it looks like the vast majority of them use this. This is so boring. Oh, you know what I want? I want those little boat. Let's do the boat ones. What is that called? A valve? Like a boat valve? 6 a.m. is very early. No, that's not what I want. I want like a hose valve. Yep, that's what I want. I want this guy right here. I would say 6 a.m. is early. A lot of, people in the West, I'm sure this is true most everywhere. But a lot of people here in the West, that's exactly the one I want right there. A lot of people here in the West are really like centered around the 9 to 5 schedule. You know, we have very simple rhythms to the world. And, you know, you got to wake up and get ready for work at 9 if you're a normal human being, which I'm not. And once you wake up at, you know, sometime before 9, it's just a matter of how long it takes you to get ready until you go to work at 9. So I'd say 6 is pretty early by that standard. I'd say most people would say 7 is early and 8 is like average. When I was working a more traditional job than what I'm doing now, I woke up at 8:30 every single day. And I would just like get out of bed, put clothes on, and rush out the door. But now I try to wake up at 9:30. 9:30 is my usual rhythm, but sometimes I wake up earlier than that. When you get the chance you want to wake up at 11, I never want to wake up at 11. It makes me feel terrible. It makes me feel so weird. It makes me feel so like, what am I doing with my life? The thing is, I stay up late because early or like late when everybody's asleep is when I do my best work. Most of what I do relies on me just like plugging away, just doing work and not paying attention to anybody else. And so if people are awake, I'm always kind of like, wish you weren't. Like when people are awake, I just want to have fun. I want to like hang out with people. Okay, so we got 3 prongs here. I think we're going to keep the 3 prongs. I'm talking too much. I'm not thinking enough, but I'm going to reset my brain right now, and now we're good. So, we're here. Okay, how'd you do on your English test? Let's hear it. Being an adult means hating the idea of waking up late because you have less hours in the day to spend doing things. Yeah, but if you stay up late, it doesn't matter. I think there's only one real argument to waking up early, and it's a good argument. And I'm not hating on this argument, but there's only one good argument for it, and it's circadian rhythm. Like, the whole reason you're supposed to wake up at sunrise is because it's good for your brain. Like, that's what, like, primordial man did. And to that degree, I agree. I'm cool with that. Like, you gotta do what caveman did. Absolutely. I'm 100% on board with that one. But as far as, like, having more time, it's all the same time. You still sleep just as much. You don't want to be that guy who, you know, wakes up super early, but then you're, like, dead all day. Like, what good is that going to do you? It's not going to help anybody. My blackout curtain says no sunlight for me. I've gotten more and more into sunlight the older I've gotten. I used to be that way. I used to be somebody who was like, I'm a vampire. Don't talk to me. I don't want to see the sun, etc., etc. But I've chilled out on that. I'm not that way anymore. I was told I was really good at talking, but I still need to fill some holes. I mean, that's fair. That's very fair. Sunlight straight up gives me a migraine. It's if it's indirect lighting for too long. Okay, so I'm gonna say something that might freak people out. This is very dramatic, and it's not dramatic. Spoilers: this is not dramatic at the end of the story, but this was dramatic to me when it happened. I got really sick like a year or two ago. And I kept getting sick every time I went outside. And I was like, oh no, I'm like allergic to sunlight. And I know that sounds silly, but if you have like tuberculosis, which I don't think a lot of people have tuberculosis anymore, but if you have tuberculosis, you can actually get sick from sunlight. And it's like a pretty good sign that something terrible is happening. And so I like freaked out and I'm like, oh no, like I'm actually going to keel over at any moment now. And so I just kind of freaked out for a little bit and tried my best to not feel that way. And then all of a sudden it just went away. Just went away. I don't know what happened. It's just gone now. And I'm all better. It was one of those weird, like, things that just kind of scared me, freaked me out, and then it's gone. Who knows why? Okay. That looks not super great. Dare I say, it looks kind of bad. Part of why it looks bad, I think, is because we need to round out a few of these angles. I get headaches if I'm in sunlight for too long, but I thrive in the rainy weather. I mean, I definitely prefer rainy weather. Don't get me wrong. I'm not obsessed with sunlight, but it is good for you. It is really good for you. Oh, look at that. Look how perfect that looks. So I'm gonna do this, this, this. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna scale each of them out, I hope. Beryl, how are you doing? Beryl, I'm good. I woke up late, and I feel a little bit bad about that. But otherwise, I feel pretty good. Okay, so I want to scale, but not on Z, right? Just like that. So we're going to scale that just like that. And then we want to grab each of these. Correct, I think. And scale these in. To make nice little wheels. Right? Beryl, how have you been health-wise? How's all the health stuff going? You holding up? If I get cold air on my right side, it will start to hurt a lot. But if I get cold air on my left side, I'm just fine. That sounds strange. That sounds a little concerning. You doing okay? Sounds like you have, like, something that, like, 80-year-olds have. All right. That is probably perfect. Look at that. Oh, looks so much better. Yeah, and it's got a little bit of a crick in here. That's it. We're so good. Man, how have we gotten good at 3D modeling? Since when have I been good at this? This makes no sense. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this edge that I just grabbed, and we're going to make it a little bit shorter. Maybe we don't need that. Maybe we don't need that. Instead, I'm going to grab this little guy, and we're going to bring him down. And I think I only want to bring this part down. I've been avoiding alcohol, but at times I feel super stressed. Okay, well, one thing that I'll tell you. I don't know why I give so much advice. I definitely am not the person who should be giving advice. But I'm more than happy to offer what I can. The human body works on a 3-week schedule. So, if you start a new diet, all of the bacteria in your stomach takes 3 weeks to die out and regrow and stuff like that to get used to your new diet. Your sleeping schedule, if you change your sleeping schedule, it takes 3 weeks to acclimate, stuff like that. So what you're doing is you're breaking all of those little routine, biological, chemical, whatever stuff. After 3 weeks, you should feel infinitely better as long as you don't drink alcohol, because all that stuff should be gone. All that stuff should be, you know, like, hey, you did it. We're out. Peace. As somebody who has done 3 weeks for other things, not for alcohol or anything like that, but for like dietary reasons, I can definitely attest that this is real. It does matter. It does work. So just stick with it. You'll be there. You'll be there in just a bit, and you'll feel way better as a result. Okay, so that is really good looking. I went from not loving it to really liking this. I think this looks so good. I think I have a cool idea of how I'm going to texture it as well. Spent 5 hours on rigging with little success, but hopefully found out a way to do it right. Are you following tutorials, or are you just kind of doing what you do? Because, you know, consult help if you need it. So I want to make a big, long screw. I know you can make a displacement map, and a screw can go on a displacement. You know what? I don't care. What am I doing? This doesn't matter. You're not even going to see this. This is the smallest little detail in nothing. Okay, now it's time that we start thinking about efficiency. Let's just make things efficient for a moment. So we're just gonna plug this in here. I'm gonna grab, you know what, actually, let's be smart about what we're doing here. Let's return back to 0. There we go. So all we need to do is make ourselves a little little cap for this guy. In fact, I probably want to also make it a hexagon. I'm debating if a hexagon makes sense, but we're going to use a hexagon for now. Hey, Beryl, I got a question for you. This might be an activating question for you. What are you going to do after you're done with that model? Is there more like 3D modeling stuff that you're doing, or like what's the goal after that? Because it seems like you spend a lot of time on this model, and I'm just wondering if like maybe it would help you out to like think about something else for a little bit, like not a different activity, but just a different model. Like it might be a little bit liberating to not be working on that single model the whole time, because I get frustrated looking at a single model over and over and over again. I learn a lot more, I think, like changing focus for a little bit and then coming back. And I'm wondering if that would be true for you. Okay, now we can go ahead and pop this on down. I mean, that's fine. Look at that. It's literally perfect. Who cares? If we're feeling extra froggy, we're always feeling extra froggy. We can go like this. And I can grab you and make you a circle, and we're going to take that circle and pop them on down. And by that, I mean extrude down. Ever so slightly. Do a little bit of a bevel. And we're set. Huzzah. We're definitely going to have to auto-normal this thing, because it is pretty gross looking. I don't love how flat that geometry looks, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And we're good. Everything else looks perfect. So that is our little handle for the shower. So I'm going to pop that on in there, and we'll call it. So, what are we going to name everything? Cube is shower handle. Actually, I'm just going to call it handle. We have a cylinder, which is our valve. What would you call that? Screw? We got another cylinder, and this is going to be our valve. Empty, we can get rid of you. And we're set. We're all good. So we're going to play Blender's favorite little game, and what we're going to do is rotate this. It's going to go ahead and say negative, and what we really want is positive, because Blender makes no sense whatsoever. There we go. I still will never understand why that's the way it is. But we're good to put this guy down in here. There we go. Let's put on a little bit of an X-ray and make sure that we are seeing it correctly. So if you look down into our shower, what do we got? We got a shower with a little handle. Actually looks so good. Put it right there. Actually, you know what? I like it kind of in the middle there. That's fine. Let's keep it just like that. That'll work. I've caught interest of other people who want a custom VR chat avatar, so that is one thing. Also, I am planning to make some animations, but I am not ready to share anything from that project yet. Yeah, no worries at all. My friend put some flowers together and placed them behind my ear. I have had these flowers behind my ear for like 5 hours, and now I lost them. I mean, that's the way of the world, right? Sometimes you can't keep things forever. Okay, let's do a little bit of rendering, and by rendering I mean shading. And I think we might be done on the front of the shower here. So we're gonna start with just the shower. Switch over to our node group. Where are we looking? Where are we? There we are. So I got a shower. What I'm gonna want to do is edit this surface. Remove you, remove you. I'll remove you as well. Is that right? That looks like that'll work. Let's do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a new one, and then we're gonna make yet another one. And we're going to assign it to you and make you blue. Okay, so you should be blue. Slot 1 should be like a black. And then we're gonna make a slot 3, which is you. And slot 3 is going to be assigned white. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, cool. So that is beginning of the shower. On my way back from school, I saw someone with green hair, and that made me really happy. Why did that make you happy? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but why? What about green hair makes you happy? Okay, let's go ahead and make ourselves a little bit of a window. So the key to a good window is transparency. It's not going to show up on pre-rendered view, but it will show up in the end. The blue is probably a little bit overkill. I'm going to do a little bit of this light green right there. That's probably good looking. We'll double check that in just a second. And now we want to go to... I'm going to do that one last, actually. So let's take it upon ourselves to make this guy Q metal. Oh, it looks perfect. Oh, it looks perfect. Next up is you. You're going to need to be selected and selected and select and select. That's one thing, and then this is going to be another thing. I'm going to hit assign on Q metal. Theoretically, we're good. Cool. And for the sake of just seeing things, we're going to make this red. I think I'm going to have to come and delete some textures later, but we'll get back to that. So that's a little red handle. That'll work. And then now you are going to be that exact same red material. Where is it? Right there. You are going to be Q metal. Dare I say, we've done it. Look at this. So let's sit and make things. For rigging, most tutorials are not tracking more complex models, which is where the program came to be. But I think I have figured it out. Oh, you finally saw somebody with new hair? Well, that's nice. There's a guy on YouTube who does rigging. It's like Academy something, and his stuff is awesome. His stuff's really good. He makes this anime character, and he goes into shape keys. He talks a lot about shape keys, because when he like moves his character, the butt of the character doesn't track correctly, like it clips through the mesh. So he shows how to fix that, and it's pretty good. So there's definitely tutorials on YouTube if you're looking for them. I don't know any off the top of my... I don't know his name off the top of my head, is what I'm trying to say. But he's pretty easy to find. He's one of like the first results that you get. Okay, so no offset. We're going to make both of these guys identical. Like this. It's a pretty good curve. It looks a little artificial, but I don't think it matters. I don't think you're going to see too up close on this. So color me not worried about it. And I'm also not going to worry too much about the bump. I want to bump it a little bit because why not? It reflects light really nicely. But I don't want to sit and make like a separate mesh for it or anything like that. So we're just going to keep a nice simple bump on here. You know, just a little bit to show that off. I'll say distance is 5 and we'll call it. So, we got ourselves a little setup here. What are we going to color this thing? I suppose the question of what color scheme are we using is important. I'm going to say maybe we want to stick with the same sort of stuff that we were doing before. Like that, I think, is a good color scheme. That makes me want to take a shower. I can live with this. Okay, cool. So let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and add cracks to this guy. So we're going to want just a little bit of cracking on the tiles themselves, which I think is going to be achieved through a double Musgrave. Hold on. This is going to get out of hand real quick, I bet. We're going to do a texture, Musgrave. That's not what I want. Hold on. This is going to get nuts. We got an object going into vector. We're going to add a color ramp and another color ramp. And this should... I should just copy and paste my color ramp. What am I doing? This should be a little weird. So if I grab you and I grab... Come on. Grab you. Plug you into here. Plug you into here. Plug the Musgrave in. And then we begin building. Ugh. Oh, it looks gross. It looks so gross. What the heck? Why is it doing that? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to do first. First things first, I'm going to make this really small. Like that. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And then we're going to take that Musgrave and we're going to make the Musgrave flatter. All right, so that is the beginning of what we want. I might actually want to use a wave texture now that I'm thinking about it, but we'll start with the Musgrave and we'll ramp out from here. Hey, guess what? That's not allowed. Let's go ahead and ban that real quick. There we go. Hey, Sedated, how's it going? I don't know how to get rid of that message. I think I don't know how to do that on Streamlabs, but, you know, I don't want to get famous, so we'll put that out there. Okay, so let's get on to this. Sedated, how are you doing? How's life been treating you? That's it, we've done it. Perfect. Quite literally perfect. Look at that. Look how, like, dingy that looks. That's perfect. You reported the bot? Very appreciated. Hey, Junie, I can make you a mod, by the way. I don't know how you feel about getting attention like that. Do you want to be a mod? I'm surprised I didn't think to mod you before. That seemed very obvious. Oh, that looks so good. Sure? Yeah, I'll make you a mod. Here. Let's go ahead and make you a mod right now. There's a little icon I gotta find next to your name. We're just gonna take a quick little section to do that. I definitely don't want to block you. Let's not do that. Let's see here. How do I do it? How do I do it? I think I might need to do it on Twitch. So just remind me near the end of stream, and I will go ahead and throw a mod on you. Okay, perfect. Let's do this. Make it black. You're like always in chat too, so like there's literally no reason for me not to mod you. Okay. I mean, that's it. I'm mostly okay. Been having existential dread, but trying to be positive and take each day as it comes. Been enjoying playing Okami again. How have you been? Ooh, I cannot even begin to express how much I understand the existential dread. I am so sorry you're going through that. Sometimes I find that existential dread is a very important part of just the process and finding yourself. Somebody once told me that the butterflies in your stomach are just a method of getting you ready for something. And as much as you can take that to heart, that's what I like to believe. It's not always that easy, obviously. I actively deny that all the time. But, yeah, just something to keep in mind. Okami is very awesome. I remember playing Okami with Junie, actually. I don't think we've got very far in it, though. Okay, so I can't make this work. Well, this is a real shame. How have I been? For the most part, I've been good. I've been very busy. I've been working a lot on some weird stuff lately. I've been kind of in a new world. How on earth? Oh, there we go. Hey, that'll work. No worries. I always give advice, and I realize I should not give advice as much as I do. Just take it with a grain of salt. Nobody put me in charge of anything. I shouldn't be giving people advice. It is who I am. Hey, Debbie, what's up? I was just talking about you earlier. I was talking about everything in moderation. Happy Friday. Okay, so let's go ahead and scale this down. I'm actually kind of hating this section right here. I think we might fix that later. Also, why am I getting... What is that? Why am I getting this weird graphical effect? Let's put it on rendered view and see what we get. Yeah, I'm still getting it. That's weird. We'll fix that in just a second. Good way to appreciate things? Absolutely. That's what I was telling everybody. We were talking about, what were we talking about? Man, I have such a bad memory lately. CQDK was talking about something, and we were talking about everything in moderation. Okay, let's go ahead and paint these tiles. I'm going to make them very metallic. Well, sedated. I don't know how close you feel to me as a stranger on the internet. I understand that, you know, people that you've never met before are strange. I respect that beyond all respect. But if you ever need somebody to reach out to, feel free. You have my Discord, and I'm always kind of on. So if you need to get something off your chest or say something, or, I don't know, just talk to somebody, feel free. No problem at all. Now, I kind of want to scuff up these tiles, and I'm thinking the best way to do that is to put a noise filter on the roughness. What time am I on? I just got home from work. I am going to be on until 5. The true chaos of the stream is going to start at 4:30. That's when we're going to be doing a speed sketch. So if you want to see a speed sketch, me lose my mind for 30 minutes, it'll be then. All the fine folk in chat. Oh no. Junie. Alright, I'll see you then. Thank you. Junie. Simo. Made of mashed potatoes. Alright, you know what? Guys, give me your worst. Give me your worst. Give me your worst. Before you do that, before you do that, I'm only accepting a certain amount. If you say Skyrim symbol, mashed potatoes, Gatling gun, a dolphin jumping over the Empire State Building, no, I'm not doing that. It all has to be related. Although dolphin jumping over the Empire State Building is something I would love to make. So, just putting that one out there. Look at everyone being so sweet in chat. I say it all the time, but I don't know what I did to deserve you guys. You guys are too nice. Sedated has asked that everybody take a nice little drink of water. Don't be fooled by the Chick-fil-A. It is actually water. I've just refilled it because I'm lazy and I don't want to do dishes. It does have a little bit of lemonade in there. Maybe like a 1% lemonade. So if that grosses you out, you're welcome. I'm somebody that really likes watering down my drinks. LaCroix? You're a LaCroix boy? Junie, I gotta rethink this whole, thing. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just do that. And I think this is gonna be our shower, and I kinda hate the checkered pattern. I'm looking at this checkered pattern, I kinda hate it. I also don't know why it's washing over so much like this. That's such a weird effect. I wonder if there's multiple meshes that are interacting with each other or something. Look at everybody. All right, Joe, I'll catch you later. Joe, you didn't post what you made on stream yesterday. Okay, so we're going to call this a shower. This is done for now. I'm going to think about it later, and we're going to add a little bit more shower. So, question time. Would you rather I work on the living room or the bedroom? Would you rather see a couch and like some board games, or would you rather see a bed, lamp, dresser, stuff like that? What are we feeling? What are we feeling right now? Also, I made this whole shower in an hour. Like, let's go. We're getting a lot better. I haven't really been practicing a lot. Make the couch your parents used to have in the living room during our sleepovers. we still have it. You're good, no worries. Would we rather see bedroom furniture or living room furniture? I'm not going to put a TV because this is a world where they don't have internet, electronic-y communication technology as of yet. So there's not going to be a TV, so don't get your hopes up on a TV. Do lava lamps exist? Chaos. Chaos. Chaos, I have something to show you. I have something to show you. This was the speed sketch from yesterday. This was the speed sketch from yesterday. It is a lava lamp bed. I don't know how you psychic knew that in the back of your mind, but it's there. Okay. So we got one vote on living room. I'm thinking living room is going to be kind of interesting. I think I do like the idea of making a living room right now. So let's go living room. Let's do living room. We can get rid of the shower. Goodbye, shower. Lava. Yeah, I was suggested lava, and then I kind of just took it in my own direction. So, you know, shout out to Amazing Barrel for letting me railroad his prompt. I should say there. I'm sorry. I don't mean to assume gender. Okay, so living room. We're here. Living room. Focus. Focus, focus, focus. Junie wants us to make a L-shaped couch. Okay. I can make an L-shaped couch. You think I won't? Because I will. We'll make ourselves a little love seat. No problem. We'll do that, and then I'm going to apply scale. You're talking about the bed that I made? It was a weird one, that's for sure. We were just kind of going for it. When you get 30 minutes to think about a sketch, you just kind of lose your mind. Honestly, you just kind of go crazy. Okay, so let's feel free to bring this back. Ooh, this is going to be a very important number. I got to keep this number in mind. 0.065. Nope, that's not what I want. Negative 0.65. Okay, keep that number in mind. We need negative 0.65, and we've done it. Folks, we've done it. Now we got ourselves a couch. You know what? You know what? You know what? You know what? Screw that. We just want these. There we go. We'll extrude that along normals. Probably should have done one right there, but I don't know how the math is going to work out, so I'm going to cheat and say that it's supposed to look like this. And we're going to go ahead and make it soft, and the best way I know how to do that is subdivision surfacing it. And then we're going to check our lines. Make a table with a bowl that has potatoes. I'm not going to do the potatoes, but I will make a bowl. I'm okay with this. Okay, so I got to really think about this. We got to think about this pretty hard. That little wedge is so important. That wedge right there is going to cost me a lot. So if I do that, plug you in. No, that doesn't really do it. That doesn't really do it now, does it? Come on now. Come on. Hey, there we go. That's better. Who doesn't want a potato? I kind of think these people that live here would not have a potato. Just putting that out there. I know that's sacrilegious here in this chat, but like, I don't think they're potato people. I think they might be traitors to the human race. Give them a potato. You know, Joe. Joe's always here for anarchy. Let's grab all of these. Let's scooch them forward a little bit. You always suggest potatoes, though. You're the potato guy. That's your thing. Okay, so now I can deselect all of this, and this couch is looking a little weird, and I'm kind of thinking subsurfacing it was a big mistake. Okay, that looks like those really uncomfortable diner chairs that you get. This just looks so not comfortable. You know what? Screw it. Back, 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 all the way. Get rid of this. Goodbye. I'm gonna do this myself. I'm gonna manually make a couch. We're gonna totally sketch this guy out. So here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna grab the whole thing. Subdivide, 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 subdivide. Now you can suggest more potatoes. I mean, color me not surprised. I'll put that out there. I mean, we've already been suggested potatoes for today. So, like, the potatoes for the speed sketch are set. All right, so this is going to be a very irregular looking couch. So I'm going to kind of stick to like an artsy sort of look. I think we want to not think too much about like if it's symmetrical, because the more we do that, the more we're going to stress ourselves out. So I want to make it artsy. Potatoes for the potato god, yams for the yam throne. I believe we've had this conversation literally on chat before. Aren't yams and sweet potatoes the same thing? Didn't we look this up and we turned out it's not? They're different. They're different, right? They're not the same? They're in the same family or something? I feel like I'm a broken record right now. I feel like we've already done this. Okay, that's a couch. Oh yes, the Pogtato. We haven't forgotten about the Pogtato. You're rooting for me? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Junie, your mod status is revoked. You know what? I'm gonna have to find a way to do this really straight on. So let's do this. We're gonna do our best to be super straight. Straight, straight, straight. Oh my gosh, Joe has super modded you. There's nothing I can do. It is total anarchy today. This is not looking very good. Simo, you're always missing something, because chat is going nuts. But, nothing substantial. Just everybody wanting potatoes and being upset at me for not giving them potatoes. What does rooting mean? Rooting is like cheering. Like, if you're gonna run like a race and somebody's rooting for you, they want you to win that race. They're like, hey, I'm rooting for you. Like, I hope you do well. I mean, it's basically like being a cheerleader, right? So the basic stuff? Yeah, the basic stuff. Exactly. Simo, did you stream? Did I miss your stream? Oh no, I just remembered. Simo, you were supposed to stream and I forgot. To be fair, my life has been absolutely chaos, but I wanted to watch your stream. No, I missed it. Was Joe there? See, that's frustrating, because I have followed you on Twitch, and I don't get notifications to my email. He was. Honestly, I'm just a bad friend. That's all there is to it. That's such a shame. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna turn on, like, notifications for you or something. I'm gonna find a way to, like, double check. That looks terrible. What am I doing? I need to find a way to, like, turn on notifications for you. Okay, this is one of these situations where I'm so much better at poly editing than I am with sculpting, but I'm just doing my absolute best. It just looks so chunky. I wish it wasn't so chunky looking. Getting a stick. When isn't Joe there? You know what? I almost said the S word. I almost just got myself banned on Twitch. Okay, so that is not a very good looking couch. That's such a bad looking couch. Yeah, I think you're a shrimp. That's it. That's the one. That's the word I was thinking of. Make cushions? That's really not a bad idea. Okay, let's leave this on the back burner. I think that's a good idea. Junie, I think that's a really good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and make myself a cube real quick. Junie, your mod status is back on. You get to be mod again. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and... the back of it can be flat, I think. Hot diggity, time to call the folks. I got myself a big boy job. Honestly. This job pays, End of statement. You always read a couple of words as different words in chat. I can't express to you how difficult it is to keep up with chat. I appreciate it, because there are days where I stream, and I don't regret them. I love streaming. I love streaming to nobody, if it comes down to it. I'm really not ashamed at all. But there are times where you stream, and nobody talks. Like, nobody says a word. So, I really appreciate when you get to stream and, like, you're just hanging out and talking and everybody's here, and that's fun. There's something really fun about that. I think that's the kind of thing that, like, you get addicted to, right? Like, everybody wants to make it on Twitch. Everyone wants to become famous and make, you know, a lot of money and become the next Ludwig or whatever. But if you don't enjoy, like, this interaction right here, you stand no chance. Red, good googly moogly. I thought you said you were going to take your channel points request queue. No, Joe, I want to leave that for you. Joe, what are you doing rooting around in my Twitch stats? Why are you in my Twitch backend? That's for me. That's for me and me alone. Okay, so real quick fact. I'm going to be an absolute genius with this thing, and I'm going to put 3 of these guys here, and I'm going to put a tiny little offset inside of them. And this is going to make me perfectly make cushions. If you didn't think I could get any smarter, well, here you go. Okay, so that comes in too much. We want to keep it right about there, and I'm going to say 1.01. Keep them really small. It's in the mod view. That's potentially an offensive term. I have 145 outstanding requests. Oh, Junie, look what you have to look forward to. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people request speed sketches, and then I do them. And then I'm done, and I don't have to think about them anymore. Never touched my queue till my mods did it for me. See, Joe? Oh, no. Actually, Sweet Roll? Barrel, to your credit, Sweet Roll kinda works. Sweet Roll kinda works. Joe. Joe, you're not a mod in Sedated Chaos's chat. What are you talking about? Oh, this is painful. This hurts me. You know what? That'll do. That's good enough for me. That'll do, pig. What's that? You mean a sweet roll? A sweet roll is just sweet bread. Yeah, Chaos, I support you. Honestly, Chaos, I think we should do away with all mods. I think we should have modless chats. No more mods. Oh, Nova. Hello, Nova. Nova, I still need to talk to you about your writing. I'm so sorry I forget. It is not out of malice. It's not out of, like, anything. I'm very flustered all the time. My life... Okay, here we go. I'm gonna be very transparent with you guys. I'm gonna say something very transparent. I don't want to say it all because it's a little personal. But... had some very life-changing stuff happen about 2 weeks ago. Genuinely, I'm not kidding. Some very, very crazy stuff happened about 2 weeks ago. And I'm still kind of reconnecting. You may have noticed that I've skipped a day each week. Those skip days are as a result of that life-changing thing. And so my brain is just like fried. Like I am just not 100% anywhere right now. So if I forget things, I am genuinely sorry. I don't intend to. I just can't keep track of everything. Am I doing okay? I'm fine. I mean, the reality of the situation is life is a complicated thing, and you have to keep track of a lot of different variables at all times. But if it weren't for that, life wouldn't be interesting. So I welcome interesting things that happen. But it's definitely been a hard couple of weeks. I'll put that out there. But I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. This is not me saying you need to feel sorry for me. All's well. I'm doing well. I'm fine. I'm just I haven't been able to focus as much as I was before these last 2 weeks. Okay. So I've made cushions. I think those look kind of good. Too late. Time for Red's pity party. I mean, I'm not gonna accept a pity party. Yeah, I'm gonna put cushions back there too. Don't worry. I'm just getting the size right. Sending you good vibes and take all the time you need. No worries. I'm getting better as we speak. Okay, so I gotta spoil things for people. I told Junie my secret project. I told Junie about the secret project that I'm working on. So everybody can now be envious of Junie. And I'm kind of putting a lot of energy into that right now. And I'm hoping that... Whoa, what the heck happened? Hello? That was weird. Streamlabs switched to light mode and dark mode like 3 times really fast. That was weird. Is it the same project you told me about, or is it something else? It is something else. The project I told you about is the same project I told Simo. And that project is on the back burner until I find more 3D modelers that want to work with me. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you guys the first secret project. You guys think it's smart for me to talk about it? Joe and Simo, if Simo's here? Should I talk about it? Should I tell everyone about my first idea? Because I think it's a good idea, and I kind of don't care if somebody steals it at this point. Oh no, I've created strife. Alright, I'll tell you guys my first secret idea. So I got 2 ideas. We got 2 of them real quick. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quiz away at this couch while I tell you guys this. So give me 1 sec to fix this, and then I'll tell you guys. We're going to put it right there, and this is a couch I'd like to sit in. I wouldn't mind sitting in this guy. I like the Among Us with an egg on his head. What the heck is that? Yeah, why not? I mean, what's the worst that's going to do? Somebody's going to steal my idea? Oh no, somebody stole my idea. Like, I'm fine. Who cares? Okay, so I have 2 projects that I'm working on right now. I will not tell you the second one because the second one is very stealable. But the first one, I had this idea a couple of months ago. I was actually talking to Jax about it. If anybody has caught up with Jax. OC, do not steal? Yes, please. I mean, if you steal it, just invite me to it. Just, like, let me show up. That's all I ask. The first idea was... I was going to... And I still want to. It's still on the list. I was going to host a 3D build battle in increments. Like, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, something like that. And so it was going to be like Minecraft build battle, where I was going to have one person... what am I saying? It's like Minecraft build battle. So we all get a prompt. We all have to make something, and you get an hour to make it, and it'll be live on stream or whatever the format ends up being. And everybody works on it for an hour, and then the hour's up, and we compare the results, and chat will tell us what they like and what they don't like and stuff like that. It's going to be very similar to the way that I use speed sketches here on stream, but I was going to add modifiers, and the thing that we were choosing to make was going to be a little bit less chaotic than the stuff that we suggest here in chat. So it's just going to be a little build battle. It's just going to be a nice, simple little build battle between some 3D modelers. So that idea is still on the board. I still want to do that. But I have to curate a little bit more of an audience before I'm able to do it. Yeah, okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, all it is, like, let's say I do this on Sundays. So in the beginning of Sunday, I would say, hey guys, we're going to make a low poly sailboat. And then for an hour, me and 2 other people would sit and make a low poly sailboat. And then I would have them in a voice call with me or something like that. And when we're done, that would be it. And I was going to make YouTube videos and stuff out of them. I mean, like, this is all still on the menu. I'm still planning on doing this at some point. But, yeah, that was the whole idea. It was basically just a way to compete with 3D modeling and just kind of have, like, healthy competition and force me and hopefully whoever's with me to learn new things and develop new skills and get better at 3D modeling as a result. So that was the whole idea. Just 3D modeling build battles. I talked to Simo and I talked to Joe about it for a little bit. And I think the idea is cool. Just gotta make it work somehow. This looks crazy. Could use that as an excuse to like to learn on the job sort of thing. Sounds like fun. Yeah, for sure. I did consider what if I tried to get 2D artists to join in. And I think that idea still exists. So theoretically, I could have a day where like a 2D artist would come in and we would like have them do a 2D version of it, but I'd have to be careful with my modifiers. Because a lot of the modifiers that I was using were very specifically 3D, like low poly. Like low poly doesn't work for 2D. We could do a test run this Sunday. So the problem is, I have to schedule all of this. I have to schedule it and I have to find the correct amount of people. And when I do it, I want to kind of have a consistency with it. So I don't know if I'm super set to get started yet, especially with everything that's going on in my life right now. It's kind of a scary time for me. So I think it'll have to wait. But the idea is there. And that's what I'm thinking about. It's one of the things I'm thinking about. Something I'd really like to do moving forward. So yeah. It's not going to be the same as speed sketching where everybody posts in the Discord. It'll actually be like 3 people, myself included, being in a voice call, and we're all going to be streaming at the same time. So ideally, I want to be working with like streamers. That is kind of a cool look, but I think that's not exactly what I want. Let's distort this up just a little bit. So anyway, that's a part of my process. If that clues you in at all to what my other process is, then more power to you. Can't go wrong with houndstooth. I have no idea how I would make houndstooth. I have literally no clue how that would work. Let's do saw. I'm going to saw all of these guys. And I think that's going to give me the effect that I want. Gotta say, I'm really jamming on this song. Your other project is to upload your brain to the internet. It all makes sense now. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep you in mind when I get started on it. I'm not trying to deny anybody anything. I just, it's not ready to go, is all I'm trying to say. If I uploaded my brain to the internet, it would probably not go super well. It would probably be, pretty bad for everybody, myself included. Why does this look so bad? What do you mean, you sure? What does that mean? You sure? Okay, in my mind, I was trying to make a woven effect. How did we get here? How did we get this? That's a full ad. That's a full ad. You like it? I mean, I like it to some degree, but I don't know if it works. Don't change it? I'm gonna change it. Whoever thought of using cushion should give them a raise or something. Looks a little bit like scales. All right, all right, all right. You guys really want to stick with it. Let's see it. Let me use some easing between the two of these. And let's give it some grace. He has no style. He has no grace. This monkey, he has a funny face. DK. All right, so now that I've officially lost my mind, let's get back to it. I kind of need it to be a little bit wilder than this. How do I fix this? How on earth do I fix this? If I take you and I mean, it makes a cool pattern, but like, is that what cushions look like? I was hoping to make like denim. Ooh. Oh, Sedated, you've said the magic words. Sedated, you've done it. I appreciate you. Very, very appreciated. Yeah, you know what? This is going to be leather. I will go ahead and save this as weird dragon scales, and maybe we'll use this later. Maybe that'll be a blanket or something, but we're going to go ahead and make a new one. This is going to be called cushion. You've said the magic word. You've said it, and I appreciate you very much. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves a little bit of a brown cushion. We're going to put a bunch of sheen on it. Sheen should be the right tint. Should be super rough, maybe like a 0.9. Specular. Oh gosh, it's always hard to tell. I'd love to put a little bit of a texture on here. I'm going to do that in just a second. Actually, I know exactly how I'm going to do it. I just solved it. I know how to make denim now, but we'll stick with this for the time being. I know exactly how to do it. I was a fool. I was a fool to not do this. I like your magical words, funny man. What is that? That's, Kennedy? Isn't that Kennedy? From some show. Everybody always quotes that. Clone High. Yep, that's the one. That's the one. At the old place that I used to work at, people would say that every single day. And it's like, it stops being funny after a little bit. There we go. Look at that. So we're going to go ahead and just go ahead and put in object coordinates, and we're going to double check that everything matches correctly, and then we'll be set. Oh, we're here. Oh, we're here. We've done it. Let's go ahead and grab this and make it red. Like a darker sort of red. And I can scale this guy up to like 15. Now it just looks dirty. Let's do 10. Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. Exactly. You like the dragon scales more? You know what? You know what? Everything can't be psychedelic, because I always make everything insane. I can't make everything crazy all the time. As much as I want to. Everything just can't be crazy. I'm always making crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Okay. Let's try our best to make denim real quick. I'm going to do what I can to make a little bit of denim. We're going to grab that color right there. Oh, that's not what I wanted. We're going to grab that color, make it a bit brighter. And then I'm going to put a wave texture on here, and it should be good. Looks too fancy? How dare you. Change it to an image of potato. Now we're talking. Now we're thinking with our feet. That was a weird turn of phrase. I'm gonna revoke that one. Let's not dwell on that one. Just kind of something that rolled off my tongue. Not what I meant to say. Not how I'm actually feeling deep on the inside. Okay, so now we got... Oh, we've done it. Crazy colorful waves is definitely your thing. Yeah, and I try to stay away from it. Making it velvet would be revolutionary. It's possible, I guess. Let's up that detail. Put just a tiny amount of distortion on it and up that detail a lot. Like, a lot. We'll say, nah, that's fine. This is good. And now I can do myself one more favor. Right here. The brain in the feet is the best brain. I'm sorry? Sorry, what do you mean by that, sir? The heck are we talking about? Looks good? Okay, finally, somebody says looks good. Thank you. One person. It's a Czech history joke, by the way. Okay. I like that. I like Czech history. Ugh, we're here. Is it a little blurry? Yes. Do I want it to be a little bit blurry? No. But are we here? Pretty much. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on a little bit of a color ramp. We're going to scale down that guy just a little bit. I mean, come on. It's good. Is it perfect? No. No, but like, it is good looking. This is so nice looking. Let's double the scale. In fact, I kind of like it being offset like that. I think that looks even better. Looks pretty good. I don't care what anybody says. This is it. I feel good about this. I don't love that part, but I can't fix that. It's better than some real couches I've seen. Good. Thank you. Very appreciated. It looks a little bit like you're waiting at a bus stop. It looks a little bit not like a real couch. What are you gonna do? You're gonna sit on it, is what you're gonna do. It'd be perfect if there was potato pillows. I just don't have time for that. I don't have any time for all that. You know what would sell it as I punch my mic? No, we're gonna keep it. Oh, but I want to do this. This is such a bad idea. Okay, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make a new collection. We're gonna call it Couch. Couch and Coach are spelled so similarly that I struggle with it. I apologize. We're gonna call this Couch Frame. Armrests. You're asking for a lot. Honestly, I don't know if I can abide by that. We're gonna call this Bottom Cushions. We're gonna call this Top Cushions. I think it might be a little too late to even add armrests. I also don't want to get super caught up on this. Because this isn't meant to be the whole build. We're supposed to do more than this. We're supposed to make a bookshelf next. Or like a table. We want to make a table with a bowl on it, right? Okay, so here is the revolution. Are we ready? I'm going to grab the bottom cushions. I'm going to copy them. Remove the originals. So we have them in case I mess up. I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to hit apply. Okay. Now we come in here, and we're going to do just the thing that everybody knows that I'm going to do, and they always think I'm going to do it because I always do it. You're not wrong. There we go. We're just gonna mess up these cushions just a little bit. Look at that. Look how real that looks. People have been sitting in this for years. Their like butts have contoured it. It's like your favorite seat. I go to my parents' house, and I always used to sit in the same spot on the couch, and they still have that couch. And I go and I sit, and I'm like, oh yeah, it hasn't changed at all. Nobody sits here anymore. Like this is my seat. It is made for my body. It's a good couch. It is a good couch. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and copy this as well, and I'm gonna go for this one. At the end of the day, once you... Whoa, what the heck was that? You know what? We need to apply scale. Because we're getting some weird... There we go, that's better. Oh. Oh. Never mind, never mind. That's why that was happening. I'm like, what the heck is going on? At the end of the day, when you're 3D modeling, there's like 3 things that you always do, and everybody has a different 3 things. And that's it. That's your whole routine. Done. Now try and tell me that doesn't look like a couch. Look how good that looks. Yo. Okay, when's Naughty Dog hiring? Huh? When am I gonna make The Last of Us Part 3, huh? Like, come on now. Look how good that looks. Ugh. Okay, we're back. I'm done bragging. It's a joke anyway. If anybody didn't get it, it was a joke. I'm not that good. Cube time. So we're gonna put some feet on this guy, and then I'm gonna make the rest of the build. We got ourselves about an hour. Man, we're making good time. I've been going really fast lately. Wonder why. Wonder why that is. I wonder what changed. Clawfoot couch. Man, that's asking for a lot. That is asking for a lot. I think I gotta cut my losses and just make something, because I really want to make like a board game. The goal is to make a board game. Give it human feet. Ugh. Human feet sounds awful. That sounds revolting, honestly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and extrude along normals. And we're going to go ahead and push all of this up. I can probably grab that and do a little bit of a bevel, I think. Probably doesn't matter. Who cares? We'll do 2 bevels. There we go. Nothing big. Now, the bottom, I'm going to grab. We're going to make really skinny, and then we're going to bevel it, and then we're done. It sounds epic. What sounds epic? Your idea for human feet? Look at that. I mean, that's perfect. Look how absolutely perfect that thing looks. Yeah, ain't no way. Ain't no way it's going to be anything less than that. We're going to call that couch feet. And we're going to put that against the couch frame. So couch feet grabs couch frame. Boom. We got ourselves a couch. A nice working couch. Looks a little bit like you're at a bus stop. Sorry. You mentioned a program where it's more clay sculpty. What was it called again? I think you're talking about ZBrush. Is that what we're talking about? ZBrush? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put on our Q metal. Oh no, that's too dingy for this. We want Q metal 1, Q... Oh no. Oh no. I gotta make a new one. Yeah, no worries. ZBrush is paid, just so you know. We're gonna call this Q Gold. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this very, very gold. Right about there, I think, is good. And then we're going to do like a platinum-y kind of gold. I think I hear my cat knocking on the door, so I'm going to go let her in just a second and let her say hi. So anybody who's looking for some cat time, now you get cat time. There's a free ZBrush? I've never heard of a free ZBrush. That sounds very out of character, but if they have it, sure. All right, let's see what she's up to. Let's stop for a cat real quick. ZBrush has crazy UI and is quite expensive. Yeah, that's pretty much been my experience. Hello, ma'am. Were you knocking? No? Oh, it was the buzzards. Okay, false alarm. False alarm. So it wasn't my cat. It was actually my buzzards. We have buzzards in our backyard for anybody that's not up on the lore. We have some buzzards in the backyard that knock on the back window at times. They see their own reflection and they try to fight their own reflection. And so they like just knocking on the back door. It's kind of their thing. And it was the buzzards, and they were just here to hang out and say hi. So, no cat today. She's off sleeping. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and clamp overlap and go right to there. Core Mini is a real thing. It's just limited. Might be fun for beginners though. Okay. If you're going to trust anybody in chat with stuff about 3D modeling, Simo is definitely the one to trust. Yeah, Scout gets along with the buzzards. Sissy, our other cat, she doesn't really like them. She doesn't really like anything, though, so we kind of ignore Sissy. You know what? This is fine. I don't need to think too much about these feet. We're going to leave it just like that. So that's that. Okay, let's make ourselves a coffee table. You'll see her soon enough. I was calling for her. She'll be back. Shall I? Okay, you know what? I'll go get her. I'll get the cat just for you guys. All right, this has been my little shadow lately. Say hi. Say hi to everybody. Her name is Scout. She's a little cuddle bug. She's a bit of a thug. She likes to mess with people. So last night, all right, you're free. Last night, oh, and she's gone. Last night, I was sleeping. She likes to sleep on me. I'm her bud. Last night, I was nice and asleep, and she decided to use me as a trampoline to jump back and forth between the window over there and the door over there. And I just kept waking me up. So at one point, I threw her off the bed, and she jumped back up, got in my face, purred, and then fell asleep on me. So if that indicates our relationship at all, that's Scout for you. She is a calico. Apparently, all calicos are female, by the way, which is something I had no clue about. Okay, so let's go ahead and start digging in. We got some work to do. Yeah, she's cute. She's very sweet. We love Scout. My cat used my face as a springboard because he got startled. Yeah, I love that. Cats are awesome. Cats are real cool. I love a cat. I'm such a cat person. Always been a cat person. All right, let's make a table. Now, when I think about a table, I get a little set on a very specific design. I always own dogs. This cat I have now is the first time owning a cat. You've always struck me as kind of a cat person. Honestly, you've always been sort of a catty sort of dude. Chaos, don't you have a cat? I'm pretty sure you're a cat person as well. You saying I'm catty? You're very catty. Try and tell me otherwise. Does your cat play fetch? No. The only trick she does is if you shake food, she will come from like a 5-mile radius around you. She'll come running. She is obsessed with food. That's all she's got. Okay, subdivision is probably not a good idea here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. If I flatten the top of this. Oh, yes! That is such a good table. Your mother's cat is evil? Okay, what makes the cat evil? Now you gotta tell us. What's evil about this cat? Okay, so now what I want to do... I've made a little bean table, which I love. I love my little bean table. I gotta put legs in it. I'm a cat person. I have one who's a year old now. My other two died a few years ago, who I'd had since I was 12, but it's been lovely to have a cat again. Fuzzy companions. Is your cat lonely? Because I find that cats usually like to be in groups. Or is your cat just chilling? Is that the worst way that I've ever done this? That might be not great, but I'm going to do this. I was always playing fetch with my mom's cat. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. She's not lonely at the moment, but we do plan on getting another one. Well, that's good. Good on you. Are you guys home a lot? Like, are you guys homebodies? Because maybe she just always has you guys, so it's not a big deal. I say she. I don't know if it's a she cat. Oh, you said she. Yes, it is a she. Okay. Oh! What the heck? What are these cow udders? My cat considers me his group. He doesn't seem to get along with other cats. The previous landlord only allowed one. Got it. That's pretty common. Looked like dentures for a moment. It did look like dentures, didn't it? Hello, Nova. Vampire dentures? It looked gross. It looked like really disgusting. Man, I really don't like that. Maybe this'll work. She's only ever been around us since lockup, so I expected she'll get big separation problems when we go places more again. Yeah, so you guys have been home for lockup for the most part. That's basically like me and Scout's relationship. I'm like the homebody, so Scout's always like, "Oh, you're part of the house. You're like the guy." Whereas everybody else in the house is a little bit more come and go. That's not true. One of my roommates is like more of a homebody than I am to some degree. But they just like keep their door closed or whatever. So Scout, I think, prefers the more consistent approach. Okay, so let me see what I can make. Let's make a circle. That's not what I want. You know, when COVID first started, I was sort of like, you know, this is bad, obviously, because people are getting hurt and people are getting sick and, you know, all that jazz. But for my own selfish whatever, I was like, oh, I like being alone. I like hanging out inside. I like, you know, I'm a bit of a loner. I'm cool. But I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm like, I am done. I'm over it. I didn't think I would be over it, but I am getting over it. Okay, so if I do this and I seal it correctly, I think we might be all right. When you say scout, I can only think of a TF2 scout. That's nice. You need a holiday and traveling? We should go to Captiva together sometime? What is Captiva? And also, what's that tongue for? Because what does that mean? Am I missing something? I think the global stress weighs on everybody subconsciously. I'll agree. Okay, here's a bit of a weird story. I was looking up an old YouTuber that I used to watch. And I was like, where'd they go? And I looked them up and found out that they went through a big depression, took a big break from YouTube, all that sort of stuff. And I was just like, oh, I totally identify with this. Like, this is how I feel. So, like, let's see what they have to say. And so I'm just listening to them. It's like a little podcasty thing that they did. And they're like, yeah, basically, from the moment Trump got into office until Trump got out of office, I was depressed. And I was like, oh yeah, that's precisely how I feel. That is like exactly how I feel. Whether you're a Trump supporter or not, which I highly doubt anybody in this chat is a Trump supporter. If you are, maybe know your audience. But like, just something about the oppressive nature and the way that America was going was just so sad. And not that, you know, one person was in charge of creating that sadness or anything, but just like, I totally identified with that. I was like, yeah, it's a big political thing. It's beyond myself. It's beyond my ability to care. It's the world at large. Captiva Sanibel. We went there when we were on vacation when we were younger. I'm pretty sure I got mega sunburnt, didn't I? Didn't I have to, like, take a bath with tomatoes or something because of that? Look at this beautiful table. Yep, that's it. This is it. We've done it. Folks, we've done it. Look at that. Tell me you don't want to hang out here. Now 3D print it and send it over. I've been thinking about 3D printing. It's been on my mind. A placemat. Now, when you say a placemat, is that a carpet? What is a placemat? Is it like a rug? Also, everybody, take a drink of water. Let's make more requests for Joe to freak out to. Matching the cushion and color, like on the table, I mean. You're talking about like a little thing that drapes over this? Like a little piece of cloth that drapes over the table? What? From outside perspective, I would not support Trump, but he seemed a smidge better than Hillary. I don't agree with that at all, but I don't want to make this too political. I'm assuming a placemat is like a throw, like almost like a towel that sits on top of this. We can make one of those real quick. I'm pretty fast at making those. So I'm gonna do this. I don't know what you mean by coaster. Okay, we've got a link. That is very appreciated. That is absolutely very appreciated. Thank you so much. Oh. Yes, we call those placemats in the United States as well. We just don't use them very often. So it's not common knowledge. They are called placemats over here, though. You are right. I think I might prefer to throw a drape on this. Let's try that real quick. Let me make a drape real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and just stretch this guy out just a little bit. Not that way, just this way. I'm going to place it right there. And we're going to make the table a little bit stickier, and we're going to call it. So let me edit this. Yeah, it's just a fancy placemat. I can agree with that. I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to burn my computer. But we'll do this. This will work. And let's go ahead and throw our nodes on it. I think I'm going to change these nodes, but we'll do this for just the time being, just so you can see it. That'll do. That should be just fine. I actually really like this color scheme. It looks really nice. I'd live here. It's a little oppressive, but I'd live here. Okay, let's hit this. So table. Table is going to get collision with stickiness of 1. I want it to be very sticky. You're going to be cloth. We need to get you on frame. Oh no. Hold on, hold on. Freaking myself out. Did I make... Is there physics anywhere else? Get the honey out? We're sticking this placement on? What does that mean? Oh, with the stickiness. I get it. I think we're good. I was a little bit worried that I did some physics before, but I'm pretty sure it was only on the lava lamp. There we go. Let's see that one more time in 3D, or in a better angle. Look at that. Look how beautiful she is. Cool, so I'm gonna grab it right there. There she is. So I gotta save this as a shape, which is always super annoying to do. It's always the worst thing in the world. Part of me thinks I'm just not gonna think about it for right now, and we're just gonna leave it as is, and if it destroys my frame rate, let me know. Let's go ahead and put a bowl on top of it. So we want a bowl, and we're not going to put potatoes in the bowl. I apologize. I'm not doing potatoes. No way. I know I'm a traitor to literally everyone. All right, let's make ourselves a nice bowl. So we're going to go ahead and grab this and cut it all the way down. And we're here. And if I'm looking at this bowl, there's one thing I want to do. I want to grab the whole thing. I want to subdivide it once and put smoothness to 1. CQDK, I knew you'd be hurt by that. It's only a matter of time until Joe jumps in chat and yells at me. CQDK, I want you to know there's nobody that loves you more than Joe. Joe is your biggest fan. All right. It's a bowl. We made a bowl. Nice and easy bowl. If we're feeling extra froggy, and we're always feeling froggy, we're going to dent this bowl up a little bit. We're going to make it look a little bit more dingy. You'll be fine. There's 1,000 opportunities for potatoes. Relax. You're never gonna be happy again? Oh, I'm sure. What is a ritual ball? What does that mean? Ritual ball. We're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of a proportion on this thing. Lower the proportion down. Because we want it flat on the bottom, just like that. Perfect. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to not sculpt it. Although sculpting might work. You know what? Let's sculpt it, sure. I'm I'm gonna go ahead and dent this guy up. Whoa. Okay, we got a big old wall of text that's all about politics. Barrel, I'm gonna humor you on this one, but I want to keep politics to a minimum on the channel. We're artsy above all else. So give me 1 sec to fix this, and then I'll read what you gotta say. Let's do that. That. Get this table out of here. What do we have? We got a plane. We got a cube. You're going to be called table. You're going to be called placemat. I know that's not true. I know it's not actually a placemat, but we're going to call it that. And let me make a new collection real quick. We're going to call you living room accessories. Okay, table. Placemat. Sphere is what I'm working on. Cool. We're going to call you bowl. And the bowl is going to go into general scene collection so I can get rid of the couch, get rid of the accessories, and work on the bowl. The outsider perspective, understand I was exposed to 2 sets of outlets which preached Trump evil, Hillary evil. One seemed a little bit more convincing at the time, but can't be confident that the candidates were full of whatever. Yeah, I agree. American politics in general are they're very bought out. You have to look pretty deep to see what's real, and even if you know or you're seeing what's real, the people that are, giving you that information are being paid. Whoa! The heck? The people that are giving that information are being paid to do so, and that should always be a consideration. Like, it's impossible, like... Okay, for example, if I work at McDonald's, right? I'm a dude at McDonald's, and I'm getting paid whatever I get paid at McDonald's, and a customer yells at me and says that I'm the scum of the earth and I deserve to die or whatever. I'm not going to punch them in the face because I want to keep my job. Right? I don't want to lose my job because I have to pay my bills and all of that. Whereas if that person approached me on the street and they said that to me, you better believe I'm going to punch them in the face. Absolutely, I'm going to. And unfortunately, so much of politics is determined by people who get paid and their livelihood, and in their mind, their ability to feed their families and stuff is based off of creating narratives. And so if your goal is to, like, try and figure out what the truth is, you're going to have a really hard time with it. And it's very unfortunate. I'm sure that's true most places, but, like, man, is it a problem over here. It's just so frustrating. And that is the end of us talking about politics. Okay, so we got a bunch of... Okay, so you want peaches, candy, chocolate, or candles. I'm not going to do candles. I'll put that out there. A melted clock. Melted clock. And then we got cucumbers. Oh my gosh. Eggplants. Oh, I love it. Okay, you know what? You know what I want? You know what I want beyond everything else? It looks like a Salvador Dali piece. I appreciate that. That sounds really cool. One of these days, I'm going to get so good at making games. I'm going to get so good and so fast and so talented. That's my goal. I'm going to get so good that I can make a game in 24 hours. And I'm going to do a game jam. This is it. I'm selling my idea. I'm selling my idea right now. Every game dev in the world, go ahead, steal this idea. I dare you. Steal it and make $1 million. This is YouTube clickbait gold. Twitch chat makes a game. And I'm just going to make a game exclusively based off of recommendations from Twitch chat. And we're going to see how bad it can get. It'd be the best YouTube video and the worst video game ever made. Okay, so we got a bowl. That would be very interesting. We'd end up with cucumbers in a bowl. It could turn out really good. I don't think that's true because usually what makes a game good is people being passionate about what they're doing. And I don't think anybody would be super passionate about random ideas. I'll go play some more Titanfall 2. Earlier today, I managed to get a triple kill on a single devotion mag, so that was a nice... There you go. I have some good game ideas, but the art would be wacky difficult to make. I mean, if you want to try and make some games, let's make some games. I give myself maybe about a year or two, and then I'm gonna start going for game jam heaven. I'm gonna be trying to crank out games as fast as I can. That's my goal. Help make games. Why don't you guys help make games? Of course you should. Okay, so what am I filling this bowl with? So far, we got a human heart, I mean flowers. We got chickens, eggplant, cucumber, melted clock, chocolate candy, candles, peaches. Well, of all of that, cucumbers is definitely the funniest. I love cucumbers. Oh, dude, car keys is so good. I don't have time to make keys, though. That's such a good idea, though. That's a very funny one. I kind of think we should do candy. Like, I hate to be this guy, but I think we gotta do candy. Oh, but candy has a problem. You know what? Let's fix this placemat real quick. It'll make the place more inviting and warm. We could always go for that. Did I do it? I did it! Oh! Why was that so easy? Tortilla chips? Oh, tortilla chips is good. Tortilla chips is so good. Okay, you know what? Also, I've just been linked another thing from Nova. If you ever need a artist in the future who does my kind of art, I'm always here. I mean, I'll definitely reach out to you. I'm a very collaborative type of person. I like making things with people. I'm definitely going to make something similar to that candy you just sent. Don't you worry. But let's go ahead and take a quick moment together. Let's make an icosphere, because I'm an artsy boy. Okay, we got an icosphere. I'm going to go ahead and pop you onto here. That's not what I did. I always forget how to 3D model, like, once per stream. There we go. You're good. Are you unable to have potatoes? I don't think potatoes are going to work for this, if I'm being perfectly honest. This is just like... This is going to be used for something. I'm trying to make something. I know we're like... I'm making it a little bit weird and crazy, but we put potatoes in everything. The links are not rude at all. You're fine. I actually just recently allowed links on the channel, so I appreciate you taking advantage of that. Okay, let's go 0.3, 0.03, 0.1. 0.1 it is. That looks good. Okay, so we got ourselves a nice little fancy bowl. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that. We're going to shrink them down just a little bit. It looks a little bit like an incense bowl, which I'm not against. I believe I was getting major headaches as a result of incense. Red's so evil. I am evil. I've been telling people that for years. I've been telling people that forever. Okay, so let's make ourselves some stuff. Love the geometry on that. Thank you. Very appreciated. Okay, so I gotta think. I gotta think real quick. We gotta make ourselves a piece of candy. Red's a big softie. Would it be hard to make a crystal ball? What do you mean by a crystal ball? Because I don't think that sounds super hard, but I don't exactly know what you're envisioning. The geometric bowl to have a crystal look? I don't think so at all. I think, you know, I know you're asking me, but I'm pretty sure I could, like, teach just about everybody here to make a crystal bowl in, like, less than 15 minutes. The texturing is the easy part for me. I'm good at texturing. Okay, so we've effectively made a little peppermint here. There we go. Little peppermint. Shrink them down. Little tiny peppermint. Put him inside there. There we go. He probably needs to be a little bit thicker. There he is. So let's go ahead and give ourselves just a moment to make all of this. I'm going to call this candy. And candy is going to be bright pink, and we're going to come back to the candy in a little bit. I'm not going to think about it right now. This guy, this little bowl right here, is going to probably be our gold. Do I care for gold? Do I want it to be gold? I don't know if I want it to be gold. We make it glass. I'm kind of cool with the glass. The glass is cool. Let's keep that. So you're seeing this weird HDRI texture showing right now. The end result will look a little bit more like this. So we're good there. You want a dark wood bowl. You want a dark wood bowl. Oh, wow. Thank you for continuing your gift sub. That's very sweet. You guys are very nice. Okay, you want a dark wood bowl? Let's make a dark wood bowl. I was thinking about this for a little bit, and I wanted to do something else, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, it's not even going to work. So I'm 100% with a dark wood bowl. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and do texture coordinates and a wave. We're going to do the classic wood texture. The old classic. So we're going to start with the white and the black just so we can see what we're doing. We're going to want these colors to be closer together, though, just like that. Maybe a little bit further apart. And here's what you do. You go 10 on the distortion. You go roughness down to like nothing. Detail up. Detail scale up. And then we go... zoom. We've made ourselves a little bit of a wood texture. We can up that distortion probably a little bit more and scale it way down. That actually might be a little too much. I kind of don't want it to be as chaotic as this, but I'm having a hard time imagining it being any other way. Oh, that looks good. That looks really good. Cool. Much better. Much, much better. So now we just make ourselves a little bit of dark wood. Now, when you think dark wood, what do you think? You think like a charcoal brown? Like that? Nice chocolate mocha-y sort of thing. And then we'll do another one. And when I think wood, I think the grain is super crucial. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of a tobacco. Anybody who plays guitar, you'll appreciate this. I'm going to add a little bit of a tobacco sunbursty looking thing. So if you're a guitar player out there, mad props. Glad you understand the terminology. Okay, so that's that. We're going to make it pretty rough. We'll say like 0.9 is probably good. Specular can hit pretty low. We're going to add a sheen to it. Sheen tint is sort of irrelevant. Clear coat. I'll do that. That's fine. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of a bump, and that'll be the bowl. Done. Come on. Come on. Streamlabs is killing it today. Streamlabs is trying to sell the channel so well. Thank you, Streamlabs. Since when did you guys work overtime? Okay, so I want to really isolate. Why is it looking so dramatic? You know what? Let's do that, but I'm going to lower the strength down a lot. Maybe not that much. There we go. Just a little bit of give. Okay, cool. So I don't think I have time for the tortilla chips, but the tortilla chips are going to go in the glass bowl. So I appreciate the comment for tortilla chips. Right now we're going to do candy. So there's a right way and a wrong way to do physics here. I'm going to do the right way because I'm conscious for once in my life. So we're going to do that. We're going to call you... Oh, I can get rid of the collision on the table as well. Yeah, baby. Okay, so we want rigid body passive with a mesh. And we're going to want rigid body active. How heavy is a piece of candy? I'm going to say it's 0.02. And by that, I meant 0.2. Convex hull should be fine. Mass is fine. Source to form. All of this is fine. We'll keep all just like that. Let's give it a shot just in case. Look at him kind of get in there and rotate and be weird. Yeah, it's fine. Looks good. Cool. So we got ourselves a little piece of candy that pops into here, right? So what's the next step? The next step, nice and easy. We're going to set origin to geometry. We're going to go into this, make an array. The array is going to go based on z of 2, x of 0, and how many pieces of candy do we want? I'm going to say lucky number 13. So now they all pop down and they're a nice little tower. That's exactly what candy's supposed to look like, right? We're going to grab that. We're going to go ahead and apply the array. I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to grab everything. I'm going to separate by loose parts. Get the Coke, we've got the Mentos? Absolutely. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to set origin to geometry. Boom. All right. We ready? Moment of truth. No. No. Okay, hold on. Let's make that bigger. And let's redo it. No. It's like the tapioca pearls all over again. Don't even get me started on the tapioca pearls. What a travesty that was. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of go for it. This is now the home of a crazy person who stacks candy. Yeah, basically. There's a serial killer living here. I mean, given the context of this build, they're probably a serial killer. This is not the coolest place in the world to live. Oh, okay. Came close to sneezing. It's almost worse when you don't sneeze, but we'll live. We'll be all right. Okay. Well, that looks pretty bad. It looks a little bit like they're a smoker, and these are like weird pills. Let's go back to 1, and I want to change that pink. Just needs more, maybe? That's probably true. Okay, tell you what. What I want to do, let's go back. Zoop, all the way back. Let's go before we applied the array. And I'm going to do 2 things to this. Oh, please have enough. Please have enough. Please have enough. Please. Yes! Just enough. Okay, so we're here. And I'm going to go ahead and change the mass of this to 1. That's very heavy for candy, but shh, don't tell anybody. And we'll do 40. 40 should be fine. Should I give them any other properties? Convex hull. If I do mesh, I'm going to actually burn a hole in my computer. Surface response. Friction, let's lower that down. Bounciness, let's raise that up. Oh yeah, they want to move. They want to move. Okay, so we got ourselves a slightly different looking scheme now. So what I'm going to want to do is go over here, apply this. Also, wait, what am I looking at? Circle, let's put this in a collection real quick, because this is going to be not good. Okay, so that is candy. We can hit apply on that. We can grab the whole thing, edit, separate loose parts, I believe. We're good. Set origin to geometry. Okay, perfect. We're here. I'm going to just press this key 40 times in a row. You know, when I have carpal tunnel, I know that I can blame chaos 40 years from now. So thanks, Chaos, for my carpal tunnel. That should be it. Right there. Okay. Are we ready? Bum ba bum ba bum. Somebody do the SpongeBob meme where the guy announces the Krabby Patty for 5 minutes. Yeah! Yes! That's it. Look at that. That's it. Now, the problem with this is they now have physics. Yeah, one did try to get away. I was watching that. The problem is we have made this using a system that is very hard to maintain. So I'm probably going to have to do that over and over and over a couple of times. But that'll do. So for the time being, let's do it like this. And let's actually make the candy. So I was smart this time. I didn't do this with the boba, but I did it this time. I was smart because I made them all the same material. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go transmission up. Transmission roughness super high. Actual roughness fairly low. Whoa! Okay, now they look like Jolly Ranchers. Let's give them a lot of sheen. No metallic. Making me want candy now? I mean, you did this to yourself. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of candy, though. Oh, they're going to be more than just purple. Don't you worry. We got a whole thing that we're about to do to these guys. So I'm going to want to do... Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about this way too much. Let's color ramp this with a... I gotta work quick. I'm actually looking at my time right now, and I'm almost out of time. So I gotta go really fast. I kind of took my time on this, and I'm not upset because we've done a lot today. We've done a ton on stream, but it's time to wrap it up. Okay, so we got ourselves a little bit of this. Let's go ahead and do a red and a blue so I can see what I'm doing. They're not as vibrant as I want them to be. There we go. That's more of what I'm looking for. So we're going to do that. We're going to twist them up just a little bit. Make them look nice and cool. Almost like peppermint. Soul candies. Oh, yeah. What's up with the soul thing, by the way? Is that just like a random little thing, or is that related to something for you? I know it's your like stuff for Twitch. Why souls? Okay, so here's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna pop a little bit of a bump on here. Lo and behold, I'm a broken record. That should, I'm squinting because I'm cautious. Whoa! Yes! Oh, they look gorgeous. They're so cool looking. If we change the roughness. Oh, they're so cool. Okay. There we go. We got nice little tactile looking candies. That looks so lovely. Those are good. Okay, cool. So last but not least, we're gonna do this. Are we prepared? I kind of wish they were a little bit less reflective now. They're like so unbelievably... I've ruined it. Would the people that live in the hotels have nice tasting candy or bad tasting candy? 100% they would have nice tasting candy. These people are very wealthy. These people make big bucks, despite how oppressed they are. My VTuber model will eventually be inspired by a Zhengsh demon, and she needs souls to maintain strength, and the chat gives souls with channel points, etc. Still all a work in progress. So I have no place to add anything to this, but you know what would like do it super well? If you gave her like a Gardevoir spike coming out of her chest, and that's where she stores all of the souls. That'd be the dopest thing ever. Okay, there we go. I've rounded them out just a little bit. Yeah, Gardevoir kind of the babe. Like, when people are like, oh, that Pokemon is attractive, I'm like, that's weird. You should chill. It's a cartoon. It's not that big of a deal, whatever. But then you look at like Lopunny or Gardevoir, and it's like, okay, the Pokemon Company knew what they were doing. They're being very intentional here. So sometimes you just gotta call it for what it is. The shimmer from the angle was nice for the light. Oh yeah, we're here. We're feeling it. So let's go ahead and pop on the final little bit. This is gonna be the one. This is what's gonna make it. Oh wait, that's not what I want. I've messed it up. Bear no mind. Bear no mind to this. We want hue saturation. Color goes there. Base color comes here. Saturation, I think I could just double. There we go. Yeah, something about Pokemon. They're a weird company. They make very strange decisions. That looks really good. Okay, ready? Are we prepared? Have we all prepared ourselves? Because we're here for the final little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on. Where are you? Objects. Come on. I'm hyping it up. Here we go. There she is. Now we got little sour candies. And that's it. That's what I got for the candy. How do we feel about this? Not too shabby, huh? Since when was I good at 3D modeling? Whoever knew. The way they reflect light is really nice. I'm not even on the full rendered view. So this is what we got for the time being. Got ourselves a couch with a table and a placemat and a bowl and another bowl and some candy and a shower somewhere. There he is. Ooh, that shower is looking rough compared to everything else we made. We'll get back to the shower eventually. So this has been the work for the day. This has been the grind. So now it is time to do the speed sketch. I'm a little bit late. That's fine. We'll just go a little bit late. Who cares? So far, what do we have? We have Skyrim logo made out of mashed potatoes with a sweet roll. I think that's going to be pretty hard to do. I think it's going to be pretty challenging. If anybody wants to add anything else, now's your chance. Use your channel points. It has to be on topic. If you give me something totally random, I'm not accepting it. If you think you can have anything else to the sweet roll or something else to like the set of food, that'll be it. But otherwise, we're gonna jump right into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the first part of the recording. So peace out, YouTube. Do the Discord, do the subscriptions, do the follow, do all that sort of stuff. You know how to do it. Goodbye.